In a world overrun with the fake, delusional, and disingenuous, he stands as a beacon of truth. He is Abuki Cabal. You are listening to Abuki Cabal.
Welcome to the Abuki Cabal Show.
What's going on, everybody? I thought I'd switch it up and go back down the direction of the changes that our community saw around the 1950s when Frazier was, writing books about us and doing research that led up to the Monahan Report and its conclusions. So I wanted to take a look at Jet magazine. I don't know. I mean, some of you may be too young to remember when Jet was out. My grandmother collected them, so it was a thing for me to read them when after we go to church and we go over to my grandmother's house and we would stop over and I would read all of her Jets, all of her old ones and all of her new ones, and then later on folks start throwing them out, but I hate that happened because it was a great source of reporting and information on stories that the rest of the media didn't cover regarding the Black community, other communities also, because it covered not only Black people, it covered Native Americans, it covered Hispanics, and issues that cut across our communities, but and affected us both. So I can't stress enough how great Jet and Ebony were, but I'm gonna try to explore some of the topics that they covered because we're still talking about some of the same things here. I got two here where they were, everybody's talking about, SYSBM and traveling to date, more amicable, women. And these two articles will kind of go into why these folks got together and why they saw Black men as suitable husbands, and why those Black men thought that these Japanese women or German women were more accommodating to their taste in what they wanted in a wife. You guys let me know what you think about the subject relating to the historical context that I hope to present by reading from these two articles from 1952 and 1953. As you can see, the title is why other women married Black men, and the first one will be about this Japanese couple, a couple of Japanese couples. I think it covers. Do Japanese women make better wives? Jet magazine, November 12th, 1953. Okay. All right. Okay, I found one in Lipstick Alley, then I could kind of explode out and you could see pretty well. And as you can see, this one, this was covered in November 6, 2015 by this person who popped it up there, old head. I assume it's a young lady. She says, I'm surprised Jet would publish this type of story. I thought they were about showcasing Black love, Black unity. Also, the story paints Japanese women as robotic Stepford wives. I'll let you be the judge of that. But it does kind of seem like anytime there's a wife who is a woman who is being attentive to her husband and doing what a traditional wife was expected to do, especially from her culture, it seems to be a point of contention for some Black women. I'm not going to say all, some Black women. And they react in a volatile way, in a contentious way. I mean, but it's always there, and it's not all, but the loud ones are going to get the most attention, So let's take a look at the article here. Well, check that out. 15 cents, man. 15 cents must have went a long way back then. Okay. Let's take a look at the article. We'll blow it up here. Okay. Do Japanese women make better wives? All righty. Okay. It says many times since his return from Japan to... Wait a minute. I'm starting in the wrong place. Okay. Okay, this is kind of weird. Yeah. Okay, maybe I should. Okay, sorry, y'all. Many times since his return from Japan to settle in Indianapolis, former Sergeant Bruce Smith had been questioned about the bride he brought with him. He is a Florida-born American Negro. She is Japanese, which made her and their marriage a target of the curious. I like it, Smith told his latest interrogator, when my wife waits on me hand and foot, gives me a massage when I come home from work, washes my back in hot water, and turns down the bed so I can take a nap before dinner. Okay? All right. Well, I can tell you when I was deployed, and that was that was in the 90s. That was in Japan. Late 90s. Mid 90s. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, they still do that. The women are still the same way that they were, or they're described in this article, in that piece there. They still do it. And I've seen firsthand how, guys gravitate to it and tend to like it. And when you see it and you come from the States and you see women like that, it is a bit of a culture shock, and it does draw some guys in. And it's not only there, the Philippines, Thailand, a lot of different places. Okay, so let's move on here. Pretty Miss Sayoko Smith, who had been listening, picked up the thread of conversation. I feel it is my duty to do my husband's bidding, she said, and if this makes me different from American women, then I don't know what to do about it, because acting this way makes him happy. If he's happy, I'm happy. It is that tendency of the Japanese wife to regard her husband as the master, which has caused the greatest controversy among those who appraise Japanese American marriages. Biologically, they agree there is little difference between American wife and a Japanese wife. Wow, that's weird. But this is 1950. Okay, but they fear the docile attitude of the Japanese wives. In the U.S., the trend is towards emancipation of the woman from her old-time dual role as mother, housekeeper. Today, American women seek and receive equal rights with men in many facets of life. They vote, handle finances from the home, and in many instances, work male jobs. A Japanese wife finds all of this hard to understand, as in her homeland, she regards her husband as number one and herself as number two. Or as Mr. Smith explains, I think only what I think Bruce wants me to think. That kind of thinking, says critics of Japanese wives, is spoiling our men. Actually, yeah, this must have been written by by a black woman. Spoiling our men. Okay, so actually, American women have nothing to fear from Japanese women, for only little more than 6,000 servicemen married Japanese girls. Just how many of these were Negro servicemen and how many brought their wives home is subject to guess. But jealousy has flared up in American women, especially in cities like Indianapolis, where a substantial number of Japanese Negro families have settled. Taking the "what have they got that I haven't got" attitude, American girls have shunned the Japanese girls, leaving many of them lonely and confused at the same time. However, Japanese brides generally do all in their power to hold their men. To keep them. All right. An American who marries a Japanese woman soon learns that there are many obstacles to overcome. He also finds that tenderness and tolerance must be exercised during the wife's orientation period here. But despite these difficulties, most men frankly say that they prefer their Japanese wives to any other. We're doing something new, says one husband. Another husband praised his Japanese wife because she creates glamour instead of seeking it. That's important. Keep that in the back of your mind when thinking about, what a lot of women say that is their goal as far as their marriage and how they see men. It's totally different from what we're reading here, and the wording is from a different time, but we're seeing some of the same things, the same ostracizing of people who date other races and whatnot. And in all actuality, there is no other race. We're all human beings, scientifically. So, but I do understand the political ideology of, us sustaining and, choosing to marry our own. I do understand that. But I'm trying to understand the other aspect of it and, some of the beliefs that have carried on from this time up to recently here. Like the article says that, women at that time, they had power, they had jobs, all of this. This is 1952 here. Okay. But then you got women today saying that they couldn't work. They didn't have jobs. They couldn't vote. They couldn't do all these things. Well, when was that? Because here it is. This is what is it? This is prior to second wave feminism. And, they're doing pretty well according to Jet. Okay, so let's move on. But despite these difficulties, most men frankly say that they prefer their Japanese wives to any other. We're doing something different. Okay, another husband praises his Japanese wife because she creates glamour instead of seeking it. is undemanding, finds beauty in everyday life, and has a sense of teamwork. Between my wife and me, says this husband, there's a deep feeling of belonging, a kind of friendship, almost a kinship that I have seen in few American marriages. That's important, y'all. I mean, just think about it. I mean, do you see what he's describing in marriages today? Even successful marriages today are not like this, you know, because there's always some degree of competition, so that the man doesn't, gain too much ground over the woman. And that's from, I believe that's from feminism. You know, it's this competition that I should be as good as, I should, work as hard as, and the supporting aspect of it is lost. I mean, I was just looking at another content creator's work, where, she showed a lady on there that basically said that, she's not going to, she's not a therapist. She's not, if any problems, pop up in the beginning of the relationship, she's out, she's done, but you don't get that. These women are locked in, and they know that a part of their role is to support their husbands, to strengthen his resolve as far as being a success in whatever it is that he does. Okay. So I'm going to read a little bit of underneath the photos here. This one right here. Though often lonely, Terry Clemens says Indianapolis life with husband Alonzola is worth it as long as he is happy. Okay. All right. Here's Teruko Shimizu, wife of James Miller, has only a few women friends. Okay, that's because she's being shunned by all of the black females in the neighborhood. Okay. Sayoko Nakato Smith spends evenings home with her husband, Bruce. It looks like she's playing records. Okay, and then there's a couple with the baby, another Indianapolis couple, Aiko and Fenton Wigglesworth, are proud of a year-old baby, Vera. Baby resembles mother. Okay. So there's that article. That's the first one. You guys tell me what you think. And it is interesting to see that, how the reactions are not different. Some of the animosity is the same. And rather than emulating these successful brides, they chose to basically rebel even more. BGS talks about this. A lot of other content creators who have talked about this same scenario, and it's it is. They say there is no gender war, but clearly there's been a gender war for quite some time, and by the wording that this author used, they are spoiling our men, as if black men were not supposed to be spoiled, especially not by their wives. I mean, if not by your wife, who are you supposed to be spoiled by? And you have, women saying, that, I can't be your mama, I can't be your mother. I'm not, I'm not going to treat you like a baby, mama's boy, all these other kind of put downs that go with it. So, men forego that aspect of their relationships, because what you're dealing with is that partner that they think they're supposed to be. So they treat you like they are another man in some regards. So, clearly that is not what black men, have wanted for a long time. And I think this is more evidence of why there needs to be a manosphere, a black manosphere. Okay. Just going to read a few of the comments here. Here's another one. I might check that one out. Next says, not surprised in the slightest. This desire by some black men to replace black women is not new. It's just that most black men did not have access to non-black women during that era, but the same sentiment of non-black women being better has been there for many black men. If you look at most jet covers from the 50s, you will see interracial relationships and light-skinned beauty theme repeated over and over again. So I'm sure this is probably a dark-skinned sister who has some animosity towards, the light skin. Here we have, and see, that light skin, dark skin thing. I think that was something that basically was amongst females also. There's a lot of guys that do prefer, light skinned women. I myself, I don't have a preference. I just like pretty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and sometimes, I like the ugly too. So, I liked mediocre. So I really didn't have a type, my type is, treat me right. I think a lot of men, feel the same way. And I think, some men need to also, be mindful, of, their expectations as well. We can't have super high, unrealistic expectations any more than black women can. But to have animosity because people found somebody who treated them right, because these other people clearly did not want to spoil, in quotes, their, black men, that's crazy. Okay. And they basically go down and they bash Jet even more, but I will provide this link. So let's move on to the next one. All right, here's one. It's on Flickr, and this is the one about the German wives. Okay. Let's blow this one up. Ooh, that might be hard to read. Let me see. I can blow it up even more. Ooh, let's see. Well, I'll try to make it work. Okay, why German women want Negro husbands. Okay, and it says, unmarried male, hungry German women are looking to U.S. Negro males to solve Germany's worst husband shortage. At no other time in world history have so many white women ever sought Negro husbands. For the most part, the German women who now seek, wow, this is little, y'all, who now seek, I wonder if there's any way I can blow this up even more. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's see. Okay, that may do it. Okay. Dang it. Okay. All right. Unmarried male German, unmarried. Unmarried, mate-hungry German women are looking to U.S. Negro males to solve Germany's worst husband shortage. At no other time in world history have so many white women ever sought Negro husbands. For the most part, the German women who now seek Negro civilian husbands had wartime contacts with Negro GIs, but others have simply heard glowing stories about the desirability of a Negro husband. As one result, Negro civilian travelers in Germany are besieged by German girls. As another result, U.S. Negro publications are getting sacks full of mail from Fräuleins who beg the editors to find me a Negro husband. I'm sure this didn't go over well. This is really interesting. For Negro husbands who are German women who have written for Negro husbands are these pictures below. Many of these women have children who had Negro GIs as fathers. Some of these children will be going to school for the first time after Easter. There are many others who do not have children, but who see marriage to an American Negro as the best and fastest way of getting to America, because the German quota of 25,937 a year is overfulfilled. If girls meet the physical, political, and other requirements for an alien to enter the country, they will be permitted to enter regardless of quotas. Some U.S. Negroes have married German girls and brought their brides back with them. Others want to follow suit. Okay, so you can look at the pictures down there and you see what they look like. They don't look all that great to me, but hey, that's still going on too. I had a person in my squad who was married to a German woman, and he did pretty well. The family owned a brewery there. They were well off, and he stood to take over the business from his father-in-law after he got out of the service. So he did well. Paradoxically, the hunger for a Negro husband is a direct outgrowth of Hitler's racism. The Nazis managed to have 3,500,000 German soldiers killed on the battlefields from Norway to North Africa, and directed the murder of untold millions of Jewish men and women. And anti-Hitler youth, many of these men would have been of marrying age now. The result has been a man shortage that has completely changed Germany's morality and a sense of fidelity. Man sharing and husband sharing are common, and competition for husbands is intense. Every U.S. editor and major Negro publication has received many letters from German girls who want Negro husbands. Some, perhaps the majority, want husbands to care for the half Negro, half German babies left by departing GIs. Many others are just single girls who want to sport wedding rings, but many are purely mercenary, or else are looking for a way to come to the United States. The usually futile and frantic letters are generally written in English. The letters are usually futile because the American law will not permit a marriage by a male girl to enter this country. Some of the letters come, male girls. Some of the letters come from obviously well-educated upper-class girls. Others are girls whose language is as racy as GI jokes. Still others are from women who seem to have been wronged, or at least separated from their boyfriends by the sudden and unexpected movements of war and occupation. One thing all of the letters have in common is the snapshot. Okay. Women are in their 20s and 30s age bracket. Okay. Okay, says in villages and big cities all over Germany, photographers are reaping a small harvest by making flattering photographs for export. According to the photos, many of the women are extremely beautiful, flaxen-haired lovelies. For the most part, all of the women are in the same age bracket, 20 to 30. Hilda, one such girl, wrote, today I like writing to you because I like to find a nice Negro husband. I want a chance to go to the States and get a nice father for my baby, which is 15 months old, and colored hair picture showed a comely 26-year-old girl with a beautiful baby. One of the best looking girls, according to her picture, is blonde Fräulein Christina, who gives some of the fundamental reasons why German girls so avidly seek Negro husbands. I have met a few colored men, Pauline wrote, and would like a Negro husband. I like them because they are kind and generous, and their character is outstanding. Pauline is 24, childless, and works as a typist. Although blanket generalizations are hard to support with facts, German women have made one big generalization about U.S. Negro males. They are kind husbands and desirable lovers. Nearly all the letters contain praise of one Negro they are seeking, or a Negro men, or of Negro men in general. Not a few send frayed photographs of their Negro wartime lovers and ask, "Can you find this man? He promised to marry me and take me to the States." One such letter said the man lived at 969 West 169th Street, which would place his home in the Hudson River between Upper Harlem and New Jersey. Wow. So a lot of the guys were given fake addresses. Okay. Most of the letter writers simply want marriage to any Negro who would have them. And if a courtship did develop through the mail, the man would have to go to Germany to marry his fiancée. Marriages by international mail are not recognized by U.S. immigration department officials. Even if the author went to Germany, he would have to get permission from the U.S. consul to enable the bride to enter the States with him. With the laws stacked against them, and the trip to Germany too costly for most U.S. Negroes, German women are looking the wrong way when they look to America to supply them with Negro husbands. Despite this, the Luftpost has replaced the Luftwaffe, and unmarried German women still airmail pleading letters to the U.S. Negro publications in their search for Negro husbands. Okay, that's interesting. So a lot of interesting things in that article. It is that is interesting. Okay. Ooh, I think there's more. Hang on. Let me check here. Oh no. Oh, I guess that's the whole yeah, this is the whole jetted here, so you can read the whole deal. So yeah, so that was pretty interesting. There's a lot of things in that article that basically cover a lot of things that some other content creators have covered. With regard to the attitudes about Black men that differ from women who are here seeking Black men for marriage, and women who are abroad. And like I said, this was 1952 and 1953, so different time. Different language. The war, post-war situation, all of that. But we can also surmise that with future events, coming up, if some things that are expected to occur happen, and a lot of these, jobs drop off due to AI and whatnot. We may have the same situation here, and we already have a situation where more Black men are choosing not to be involved with Black women, and not wanting marriage, not wanting kids, and then you have more women that are requiring unrealistic things from potential suitors, to the point to where it's becoming untenable. So you guys tell me what you think about this. And this is just a little historical context. 1952, 1953 to 2022. And we are still talking about some of the same problems. And instead of seeing these women, in these women, what they could do better in order to compete with someone who was winning in the marriage situation, these women chose to basically say, no, we don't want to do that. These women are Stepford wives. They're robots, and we're not going to do that. So rather than, being selfless, you see more selfishness that resulted and has grown from each generation to each generation up to the present. We're seeing, and it's even worse now than it ever has been. So you guys tell me what you think. This, in addition to, the Monahan Report, adds some more information. I'll see if I can rake through some of the jets and go through some other things. And clearly you see that, some of the other readers just didn't, quite like light-skinned females being in the jet, or, interracial marriages or situations like that. And they verbalize that, in these, on these message boards. So I will post that up. You guys tell me what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe. I thought you guys might like something different from, doom and gloom with the COVID situation. So I put on a different hat. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you next time.
You are listening to Abuki Cabal, the analytical savage.
I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home, a long way from